At the early service, we had the Stag Madrigal Choir, and this wasn't really part of my sermon, but they're an amazing group of people. Rolf, who used to be the choir director years ago, they would come here. And then Chris Betts took over the choir. And they haven't been here for a couple of years because of the COVID thing. And we have a really nice relationship with Chris. Chris, a few years ago, his fiance passed away. And it was tough. And we reached out to him, tried to help him out a little bit. And then he's now married and has 2 young kids and is doing really well. So when they come here, it's more than just a gig. It's like coming home. And so I'm not sure if you guys are watching, but Chris and you guys, you just are such a gift, and we're glad that you're part of our family. So today the psalm says this, that God is our shelter and strength, and there is a river that brings joy to the city of God. There are times when I wonder where that river is, especially over the past 2 years. That river that is supposed to bring us joy, the river that brings hope, the river that allows us to smile. And maybe instead of looking for the river, we have to be willing to be the river. That maybe we can be that spirit that flows into the heart of somebody else and makes them feel good about who they are. Because a lot of people are looking for a river. And once in a while, you and we got to be that river that flows with a bit of joy and hope. I love Christmas. Christmas is an amazing time of the year. And ideally, Christmas is a time where you get together with family and friends. It's a time where you can come to church on a Christmas Eve night and hold a candle and sing Silent Night. It's a time of just really feeling good about life. But I know for some of you and for all of us at one time or another, Christmas can be a very tough time of the year. If this is the first Christmas where you have to live without somebody that you really love, if maybe there's something going on in your life and your family and there's a little tension and maybe Christmas isn't all you want it to be. I mean, obviously the past couple of years with the virus, there's a lot of things we can't do, and many of us, our lives are kind of turned upside down. And then I think of those words, that God is our shelter and our strength. And there flows that river into the city of God. And I so much want that river to flow into the hearts of each one of you this Christmas season. Peg and I and Q went to Heartland this week for just a couple of days. And we spent Monday doing a funeral, a celebration of life for Jonathan, who passed away suddenly at the age of 20. And my God, there was a river there, a lot of tears. There's a young lady there, her name is Lizzie. At the early service, she was 17 years old. At this service, she's 19 years old. So Lizzie, you're 19, I realize that. Lizzie is one of those people that's really a prisoner of her own body. She reminds me a lot of my buddy Adam, who I've talked about many times. I mean, her mind is so sharp. And she has a heart as big as Texas. And she can hardly talk. But God, can she smile. And she and Jonathan, every night before they went to bed, would play cards at the kitchen table. And so when Lizzie was wheeled into the funeral, man, the tears were flowing because she loved her Johnny. And yet, Lizzie, spending her whole life in a wheelchair, dependent on everybody for everything. She is so graceful. She is so kind. She's so loving and so considerate. She is a river. And through her smile and through who she is, she's a river of joy and hope to everybody who lives with her. And just being with her for a day and a half recharged our batteries, because we realized if she can be that river of hope with all the things that she has to deal with, my Lord, I sure can be a river of hope to somebody else. And then there's Robert, the bus driver. Now, after Robert got done speaking, I said, I'm going to bottle you up and take you to Orland Park. I'm going to talk about you on Sunday. Well, the problem is I talked about him on Thursday night, and I talked about him on Friday, But he's going to be watching. If I don't talk about him today, he's going to get mad at me. But Robert is just one of those guys. You look at him with his flannel shirt and his Boston Red Sox cap and his boots and his beard, and he just has that look like he camps out in the wilderness every single day. Didn't realize he doesn't look like a guy that was a software engineer for 30 years. And he was a Navy SEAL for 8 years. Some of the places he had to be in Vietnam. And then after he retired, he didn't know what to do, and so he became a bus driver. And for years, he picked Johnny up and dropped him off, picked Johnny up and dropped him off. He was bus number 221. And see, Johnny pretended he couldn't talk. But Bob knew differently. So he would come there and say, "Hey, Johnny, bus number 211 is here." And Johnny said, "No, it's 221. Aha, you can talk when you really want to. But Robert asked if he could get up and speak. And he got up. And he said, "I've done a lot of things in my life. I'm now a bus driver." And then he started to cry. And he said, "This is the best job I've ever had." You see, he is a river of hope. Because angels can take ordinary jobs and ordinary moments and turn them into something majestic. And that's exactly what Robert does. He claims to be an ordinary guy doing an ordinary job. And somehow when he does his job, he sprouts wings and the river flows. And he brings hope to those that he serves. We need more rivers. And I know each one of us, we have our limitations. My God, I have more limitations than I can think of. You know, Lizzie can hardly move, and yet she is a river of hope. Robert would say, "I'm just a bus driver," but he is a river of hope. You and me, our calling and our challenge is to be a river of hope unto somebody else. And just maybe we can be an angel just once in a while. Amen. If you're able to, please rise for the creed.